just don't want to put my fingers in it. I don't want to put my fingers in it again. So.
You're so dramatic.
Huh? No, you can just see it there. Rotted. We're Stephen and Mags, and together with our 3 kids, Louis, Neve and Oliver, we're starting out on the biggest adventure of our lives, swapping city life for an off-grid homestead. After years of dreaming about making a change, we sold our house in the UK, packed up all our belongings and made the 1,500-mile trip to southern Spain, with the hopes of creating the dream family home and a new life in the sun. Follow our story from the very beginning as we begin the journey of creating our off-grid home. Hola everyone, so apologies for last week. We had terrible problems with technology and we lost last week's video. So the video that was put together, the memory card decided to wipe the video clip. We've got a few little clips left, but we went to England last week because it was Mags's 40th birthday and we had a great time. We got to see family and friends and do a bit of Christmas shopping while we were there. We even had a little party for Mags's birthday and everyone got to sing happy birthday to her, which was great. We're back and we're cracking on. We're trying to catch up on the homestead. So since we were away, the hay that we put down before we left has decided to go nuts and sprout, and now we've got grass and hay growing everywhere but no vegetables. So some of the rows are completely empty. Some of them have sprouted and are doing okay, others need a little bit of attention and looking after. But while we were away, apparently they had a really hot weekend and we think it's just killed some of the seeds off that we planted before we left. So some of the rows might need to be reseeded, I think, especially the carrots and the beetroot. The rest of them seem to be doing okay. The heart that we planted with the garlic in has now turned green, so I'll show you that. Let me just take it over. So it's starting to slowly turn completely green, and this is what I mean by the hay having sprouted, and it's pretty much like this on all the rows. So if you can see, on this row, this was beetroots. Now, there are some mixed in between here, which we'll be able to find once I start picking the grass out. This end, for some reason, all the hay that we covered it with has gone missing, and we've just ended up with 2 nice rows of green grass either side. The other vegetables are coming on okay. But since we've come back, things have changed. The weather's changed. It's much cooler than it was before we left. I mean, we are in November and we're still having temperatures of about 25, 24 in the daytime. It's getting much cooler of a night time, but that makes it more livable as well. So after being through the summer and having been so hot, it's nice to have a bit of cool. But it makes working in the garden much easier, and there's less flies as well. So in the summer, the flies are a real problem here, and they seem to be dying off, and I'm not getting murdered by them while I'm standing talking. We've got a bit of a funny week this week. We're trying to do it in between. I've just finished work, come straight out in the garden to come and get this done. We've got visitors coming up this week from another homestead coming to see us, and we've got vegetables to process. So we went to the local farmers market and we bought a load of vegetables because we've not got enough to harvest here yet, that we're going to try and process, freeze and put away so that we've got stuff stockpiled away, and then try and get to grips with the garden. We've got potatoes to plant as well, which we're going to try and get done on this part of it, and see to the other potatoes that have been grown in buckets. So the little experiment we were doing where it was half a bucket full of soil and then the other bucket was full of soil to see how they grow. The half a bucket soil potatoes have now sprouted and they've come up, and they need covering over with more soil to encourage more potatoes to grow underneath. So we'll be doing it over a couple of days again. Today is Tuesday because it's a work day. So today's Tuesday. We're going to try and crack on with it through the week and see how we get on. Right, I'm going to get to weeding this garden. one bed down, lots more to go. So that was the garlic bed done, and the only things left now are the actual garlic bulbs that are growing. You can see there. And actually I'm quite impressed. It's only been like 3.5, 4 weeks since they were put in as little tiny cloves, and I'd say the majority of them have sprouted. It seems to be a bit thinner on the front just here, but then let me see, there's little ones coming through like this, so they are, there was another one, I'm sure there was there, so there's little ones coming through that are hidden, but they are coming. But the rest of the stuff that's in there now is garlic bulbs. I'm quite surprised at the height of them. I thought they'd be much slower growing and take a lot longer over winter to come through. So, quite pleased with that. Back to sort of clean heart shape. Needs a bit of tidying up around the edges now. But that's that one. The sun is going down rapidly though, so we're getting a nice sunset in the background. I want to see if we can get the next one done, and then I don't know that it'll be too dark, because that took much longer than I thought, actually picking between the tops of the garlic, which look like grass. This should be easier, so I'm going to try this one and then see what I've got left for in terms of time tonight. So I'm going to crack on with the watering of these, and I'll see you tomorrow.
He's filming us now, we've got to be good. Got to be good. That's it. There we go.
It's coming.
Yeah, no.
Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is now. It's the next day, and we've got a visitor.
Hello.
We've got Andy from the Spanish Homestead, so some of you might know his channel already. If you don't know his channel, I'll link it down below so that you can go and click my follow and a like. Andy is another homesteader from Spain. Where are you from? Orihuela in
Valencia, Alicante.
Valencia, Alicante way, yeah.
Murcia border, round there.
Yeah, so we've got Murcia between the two of us. We're in Andalusia. We've got Murcia and then Alicante, Valencia. So we drove all this way to come and see us today.
Yeah, I was on my way to Granada really, I just broke down here.
Andy's going to give us a hand because if you remember from a couple of videos ago, we talked about the strimmer vibrating a lot, like really a lot, to the point that we couldn't use it. We can't work it out. Andy's the font of all knowledge and says he knows how to fix it. So we're going to have a go trying to fix that, and he's also going to take a look at the rotavator for us while he's here, because he's got more experience of using that than I have, haven't you? Yeah. So we're going to have a look at that, and then give him a quick tour around the place as well while he's here, so you can see what we're up to. Right, onto the strimmer. So I think the tools for that one are in the shed out there.
You want to take it out?
Yeah,
then?
let's take this big one out as well.
Look at that.
Oh, I didn't realise that it still had G's little petrol in it.
Yeah, if you look at that there, see how the blade's offset?
Yeah, it looks more this way, doesn't it?
So if you put that blade centre, that, because with it being offset, that's gonna...
The whole thing, honestly, was just vibrating to the point you couldn't even keep hold of the handle.
So the vibration's caused because if you look, I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but the blade's not centre. So as it's going round, it's gonna cause that.
To vibrate?
Yeah, because you're not getting the perfect.
Okay. And is there a way to know when it's in the centre?
There should be a mark on it.
Okay.
Should be. Go the right way. That'll help, won't it? See how that's just moved then.
Okay.
Set that on. Some of them have marks, some of them don't. This one doesn't. But see that?
Yeah. Oh, the circle around the inside. Was that on the wrong way?
There you go. So you put that on.
Oh, okay, it wasn't even put together properly.
Put that on there. See how that's fit into those teeth? Put that on there. That over the top. That should then tighten down.
Yeah, it looks more centred already, doesn't it?
That's the bit underneath. Some of these go on the other way. We'll find out in a minute.
It's funny, isn't it, when you tighten on back to front?
Yeah. Now,
even if you...
on. 1 minute.
Is it going the right way?
Yeah. Yeah, because it
Yeah,
spins
it goes
that way. Yeah.
Even when you look at that underneath, you can see how much it was off centre by the date mark that was on it from...
Yeah, so if you put that on this now, that's centre. Let's make sure that's really tight. Okay. And then...
We'll try it on it and see if it works. That's that problem sorted, thanks very much. Yeah, no vibration whatsoever, you can cope with it. Okay, I need to do that to the others, I think. I'll put them on as well. Make sure to find that little spot in the middle of it to put it on, and then yeah, should be alright. Cheers, Andy.
No problem.
So you mean extend them out so
Yeah,
it doesn't move?
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So that's another thing.
My explanation of things ain't great.
No, it's good.
Tighten this, turn that, hit that. If all else fails, get the hammer out.
Right, I'll tell you what I've got for now. Don't know that any of them big enough actually. No. So you can see what's happened. Andy's found out that I had them on the wrong way. Each of them come with little labels on. So this one says left, for example.
I've actually swapped them around now, so you've got the right one on this side.
On the other way.
What the way you've done it is, because these holes match up where the clips go.
Yeah.
You'd put that the wrong way round.
Yeah.
So you had it on the right side, but back to front.
Yeah.
But I've now swapped them over just to confuse you.
So yeah, they were on the left and the right side where it has the stickers, but on back to front on the right side, if that makes sense.
That was really tight. Put a bit of oil on that.
Okay, so now Andy's worked out that they're on the wrong side and he's going to turn around the right way, and then hopefully it'll work a bit better.
Katie, if you're watching this, I didn't just do that.
She's going to kill you when you get in.
Yeah, there you go. Bit of brute force. So yeah, if you just clip them on, just one into like the middle, like that, they're a lot easier to get off.
Okay.
And
Where I had them pushed up to you before, didn't I?
And obviously, if you go through like long grass or anything, you'll get 9 times out of 10 all this tangled up.
Okay.
So it's just easier to get them off to clean all the grass off.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm rest that flat, can't I?
Yep. Check this. So this oil filter should have. This oil filter.
You're checking whether or not I'm looking after it properly, is what you mean.
Make sure you clean it out every couple of weeks. I'm a nightmare. I have somebody who looks after my rotavator for me. He's a really good mate of mine. So, because I don't have the time to do it, so he does it for me, and he shouts at me.
So that's not been cleaned since we've got it. I've only used it a couple of times.
Yeah, it should be all right, but because you're so dusty up here, it'll collect a lot more.
Yeah. Let's see what state it's in. Oh,
Didn't want that. I want the top. Yeah, you're all right. You probably want just a tad bit more oil in there, but yeah, it's still clean.
Okay.
But when you've been using it a lot,
yeah.
I'd say about every 2, maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
Just take that off, wash that out in a bit of petrol.
Wash that in petrol?
Yep. So take that out, put it in a bit of petrol, wash it out.
Okay.
That'll be fine. And then clean that out.
Yeah.
And then add new oils to it.
Okay. But that doesn't need new oil now.
No, that's fine. That's like brand new.
Okay.
Mine's not looked that clean for about 6 years.
Okay. So while Andy's here, for those of you that obviously don't know, one of the reasons we moved to Spain was because we came to see Andy and his wife Katie on their homestead in Valencia, on the Spanish homestead. And before we decided to do this and move to Spain and try and set a homestead up, we watched loads of other YouTubers on YouTube. So one of the channels that we followed was Andy's, and we came over last year to look around Spain. We drove all over the Murcia region, some parts of Valencia, Alicante, and then into Andalusia. Excuse me. And while we were here, we were getting a bit discouraged, like looking around. So I sent Andy a message on Instagram and just said, I know this is really cheeky, but have you got any advice for us? And what did we do? How did you manage it? And Andy and Katie said, why don't you come and see us? So we drove from Murcia, where we were staying, up to their house, and very kindly showed us all around the homestead, showed us all his animals he had and what he was doing, the projects he was working on, and taught us about how their kids settled. Their kids have grown up here, but how they managed as a couple and what it was like to move, and really just gave us the inspiration to think, yeah, we could do it if we moved out ourselves. Yeah, so they were one of the inspirations for us to move over, because we watched them, and then since we moved, we've kept in touch and text, and now we're finally meeting again in person, and Andy's come to see.
About 18 months.
Yeah,
about 18 months now, isn't it? Since you've seen us.
Yeah, must be. Yeah, last July, I think we were here, July 2021, and now we're in November 2022. But yeah, it's just nice to meet and nice to learn from someone else who already knows what they're doing and has been through it and got the experience of doing it. And finally get all my tools fixed. So that's the strimmer fixed, and now the rotavator is going to be fixed. And Andy's got the same model that I've got, so he knows it well, and he's going to help us with this one. Andy looks like a rotavator.
So obviously, just need to play around with that.
Yeah.
See how when I started it up, it shut off.
Yeah.
Right. If you play around with that, just loosen it, tighten it, loosen it, tighten it. That'll loosen that. At the minute, it's actually running the belts as you start it up.
Okay.
But as long as that's in low throttle,
Yeah.
you should be all right.
Okay. So all done. Want to say thanks, Andy, for coming and giving us a hand today.
No problem.
Yeah.
No
Call
problem.
the experts
Anytime,
in.
you know that. Just give us a shout.
I will.
I'll turn my phone off after a few times.
Right. So Andy's off. He's going to pick his kids up from school, and I'm going to go and crack on with the rest of the garden. What I was doing yesterday. Finish the weeding, and then I've got some carrots to put in as well this week because the carrots we did plant before didn't survive. Well, not all of them anyway. So I'm going to crack on with doing that.
Like a bird on a tree.
So my plan yesterday when Andy left was to carry on with the weeding and plant the carrots. We did do some weeding, but I didn't get around to planting the carrots because I got sidetracked with the strimmer. Because he got it fixed and it was working and it was doing a good job, I decided I was going to change the blades on it and then come down here and had a little go at trying to start clearing this path. I'll show you what I'm up to. There, so before this part was all grown up like that. So I spent a little while trying the different blades out, seeing what thickness the things would cut, because ultimately we want to get this cleaned out so that we can get chickens and keep the chickens in here. We need to put some chicken wire around the fence, etc. So all this was overgrown yesterday and cut through with the strimmer. Spent a little while. You can see, for example, like some of the blades will go through. I mean, you can see the thickness of that in comparison to my hand. So some of them will go through this, some of them they won't. I mean, this has just chopped it right off. We still need to then be able to deal with this. I think it did a good job just coming through here. Well, now we've got another path that we can walk straight through rather than having to walk all the way around the barn. But I got out as far as there and then I gave up. But this brings us out onto the bottom of the land, and then there's more asparagus being planted, or that is planted down there, and the asparagus fields go that way too. But this bit's just become really overgrown, but it could be a great place to let chickens out if we get chickens. And if you come around this way, just for reference, there's the back of the barn, the compost pile, and this here is a gate into what would be the pen. But again, it's all overgrown. So, I've got quite a bit of clearing to do. But yeah, I got too sidetracked with the tools and messing about with the strimmers and being able to try all the different blades on it. But I am now on my way. I'm going to go and plant carrots because the reason I didn't get around to doing carrots, because after I messed about with the strimmer for a little while, then it started raining. Andy was saying to us, so do you get rain and stuff? I said, very rarely rains, and then it rained non-stop. It was torrential. So it means now that the ground is already wet, which makes it really good for planting carrots. We bought some new carrot seeds. The carrots me and Ollie put in a couple of weeks ago, some of them have come up, some of them haven't. Now we had a trip, as you know, last week we went to England, and I think because we left for a week and it wasn't watered regularly enough, some of the seeds haven't sprouted, haven't come through. Some of them have. We're going to plant a different variety of carrots in another row and see how they take off. And now also, because the rotavator's working, it should make it much easier to tin the soil. And I want to get on with that.
Like a bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small we can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors forever.
So I'm going to do the weeding and Steve's going to make another bed to plant some more carrots. It's because for the next 4 days it's forecast to rain, so fingers crossed for that, and it should help the carrots really well.
Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell.
We've got these carrots to plant. So in the last bed we planted the multicoloured variety, where they're all different colours. These ones are Nantes variety. Should grow to about 18 centimetres long, roughly. So they'll probably be bigger than the other carrots we've got. We've got 2 packets. I don't know that I'll use the 2 packets, but last time we only had 1 and didn't have enough for the row. So I bought 2 just to be prepared. I'm going to try and plant them in.
In the great outdoors, forever free.
So as well as the carrots, we've got potatoes to do. So they're only shop bought potatoes, but we've got little slips from them, so we're just going to plant them. I'll show you them. So they're those, and as you can see, loads of them are sprouting. And then they've all got, you know, good little roots on them. So it just makes sense to plant them. So Steve's making another bed here.
I've rotivated it, but I'm not doing like that one where I made a complete mound. I'm just going to do it like a channel down the middle and put the potatoes in, and that way when you start sprouting you can cover them up a bit more and get higher.
You can see the difference actually compared to the other one. Take a little wave. And whilst he continues to plant the potatoes, I'm just going to continue to weed, which is like a never-ending task. But I'll just show you the bed that I've just weeded and the little nabos that we planted. And after weeding, you can't half see them. They've come up really well. This is on the same bed as the carrots up the top. And so the never-ending tasks of continuing to weed this bed now whilst he finishes off the bed over there.
So when you're planting potatoes, you want to put the shoots that come out the top are facing up, because they're what's going to go into the stalks and the leaves at the top. Try and face them upwards, just bury them so they're covered over. That's facing up. And then the reason we did the bed like this instead of the other way is because as the shoots grow up, as they get to about there, we'll use this soil to bring in and then cover over, so that should encourage more potatoes to grow underneath, and they shouldn't be so deep down for us to dig when we come to harvest them. We've got 2 new beds in, whole bed of carrots up there with the covered in the cardboard to see if that works, and then a whole row of potatoes, and this is how they come on. We just need to take rotavator back in. Max has tucked the wheelbarrow with all the stuff in, and then we've got one last job to do, which is the potato buckets, and we need to top up the buckets that were half full. So we tried 2 different methods, one filling the bucket right up to the top to begin with and planting potatoes, and then one halfway up letting the potatoes grow up, all the stalks, and then covering them over again and then force them to go higher again. So they are ready to be topped up. We've got enough compost left, I hope, to be able to top the rest of the buckets up. So, that's sad news, really sad news. The potatoes were too wet. So I think because we got them under the edge of the roof line here, when it does rain, it's raining and staying wet. Those potatoes are rotted and absolutely reek. Not one of them sprouted in the bucket. So
They'll be good compost though.
yeah, it'll make compost. I mean, there's plenty of holes in the bottom, as you can see on there. It's just not obviously draining enough. So the soil stayed too wet. I don't know whether it was too much of a mix of soil and not compost, and that's why, but now my hands feel infected. So they were a fail. However, these ones weren't. Needs a little bit of a weed, but let's take this out. These have sprouted, so we're going to top this up with compost. Still quite wet because it rained yesterday, so they need topping up. I'm not sure whether these ones are up yet because they were deeper down or because they've also rotted, but it's very hot. Wow, feel how hot that is.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that hot? Yeah, maybe that's a sign that whatever's in there is composted and not grown. So I'm just going to fill the last bucket up because the end one's no good, and then carry that one. Right. I hope this works now, doesn't kill off the one good bucket we've got.
You just planted 20 more in the field, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Although that bucket does show that our little experiment worked better with the half-fill bucket than the deep bucket.
Yeah. See, the only thing I'm thinking is they only have to go through that much soil to get out. So whether it's that they've got out quicker and then been able to grow and get the sun, and then ones are taking longer because they were right at the bottom of the bucket. And it's about a 56 litre bucket. So they had this much soil to go through. I don't know. I don't know whether that's the reason it's not come through, or that if actually we disturbed it all and dug down, it would end up rotted like the end one, which definitely needs getting rid of. Shall I try the little bucket and have a look?
Yeah.
I just don't want to put my fingers in it. I don't want to put my fingers in it again. So,
You're so dramatic.
it was horrible. So let's have a look. I mean, they've not. No, it's not going to be good. This Mags. It's very clay at the bottom. I can't even find one.
No, the rotted.
No, you can just see it there. Rotted. Okay. So I reckon they were too wet. Maybe we definitely need to put them somewhere else that they're not going to get as wet. I mean, we haven't watered them that often either. So maybe it's the bucket, the style of bucket it's in there. There wasn't enough drainage, or because it's so close to the floor, it's not getting enough drainage. Maybe we need to move them.
Or maybe we need to stick with the shallow buckets and then top them up, yeah.
Do half and top it up. And that was more compost than that one was. That one had manure and soy, didn't it? And that one had more composting. So maybe the compost like that is drier than the manure was. As let it grow, it's more fluffy. Because I mean, you can see that it's sticking to my hands. It's got lots of clay in because we mixed it with the soil that was here.
Although on a positive note, we made nice compost.
Yeah, but it's all hot, isn't it? So shall I open that one and see if that one's rotted?
Why not?
Well, that wasn't a potato anyway.
I was going to say it was a weed of just, you know.
Pacifying.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think that's done, you know.
No, it's just soaking wet clay at the bottom where we used the soil out was from here. Can't find the potato. No, it stayed too wet, look.
Ugh. It's like digging for treasure.
No, look.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, the smell.
Ew.
And you can see the difference in the soil still.
Yeah, so maybe with our soil and the compost and stuff that we use, we just need the half bucket and more compost.
More compost, okay. Well, what a way to end the video. So we've got, out of the 4 buckets we did an experiment, 3 of them didn't work out. One of them has and looks like it's going okay, but that was the half bucket method. So I think if we do it in buckets again, we might even replant these and do it with a half bucket and use more compost mix than the soil from here mix. But on that messy note, thanks very much to all the new subscribers lately, for all the new people leaving comments, both on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in following along on the journey, if this is your first time watching a video, give us a like, think about subscribing, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, hasta luego.